All right, good morning. This is Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we're going to do. This actually was usually one of the funner matchups during testing, and this is, of course, release day for Glory Days Pro Football. PDF version of the game is now out on SidelineStrategy.com, and print version should be done by the end of next week, so it can go on sale next weekend at some point. So, 2000 Baltimore and 1985 Chicago, generally regarded as two of the best defensive squads in the Super Bowl era. And it's really an interesting matchup. They both have very few teams in the pro game will have a drive offense or defense that goes above 10. Chicago and Baltimore both do. And once we get into play-by-play mode, Baltimore actually had a better defense statistically than the 1985 Bears in relation to the rest of the league. And I know the cards are small in the recording, but their run and pass defense are both max, as good as you can get, 10 stars total. Chicago's got 10-star pass defense, but only an 8-star run defense. They actually gave up. They gave up about 0.4 of a yard less than the league average, but that still was not among the top several teams in the league in 1985. So surprisingly, they suffer a little bit there. Offensively, Baltimore definitely pass offense is the same for both teams, both 7 stars. Run offense, Chicago has the advantage at 9 stars to 8 for Baltimore. But the big difference here is Baltimore's ability to get a drive going. They're going to be going -6 on the drive chart against Chicago, and that is going to be brutal to overcome. Chicago was successful in getting drives going. They're only going to go at a -1. So that said, let's kick it off. Chicago won the toss and elected to receive. So they're going to come right out and get the ball and try and go to work. And 5 drives per quarter. I'll be doing the regular drives per game for timing versus the optional timer that's on the Excel helper. So here we go. All right, Baltimore set to kick it off, and they are an E. And that is going to come down at the goal line of Chicago. And Chicago, with the 0 on their turn, is going to have a big play. So we will roll that again. The drive charts and play-by-play charts are on the screen. The big play chart is not. So Chicago's kickoff return is an A, and a big play on that is going to be... should be pretty good. A roll of 6, and that is going to be a 53-yard return. So Chicago doesn't even have to go simulated portion of the drive as they return the kick to into Baltimore territory. So it will be 1st and 10 there, and we're going to jump right into play-by-play mode. So Jim McMahon leads the vaunted 85 Bears out onto the field, and first down play is going to be, of course, a run to Walter Payton. And Payton's rating is a G on the trench. It's 2 stars to 1 star, so Chicago is actually going to win that battle. And winning trench control, G4 is going to be a gain of 6 yards for Payton. So down to 41, 2nd down and 4 to go. All right, 2nd down call, and McMahon is going to throw a pass to Payton out of the backfield. 2 stars on offense, and again, 1 star on defense. That's a defensive win. Pass is complete, and Payton is an M. So trench control win there, and 2M is going to be a 15-yard gain, McMahon to Payton. going to get it down to the 24-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears, and they are off to a great start in this one. This time the defense is going to win the trench control, however. This is another run to Peyton, and 6 on the Ravens' run defense, and that is going to be a stuff. So going to the stuff chart, their stuff rating is a B. And for B, that is going to be a -4 for Walter Payton. So Baltimore's defense finally stiffening up as Chicago approaches the red zone. It's going to be 2nd down and 14 to go. And behind the sticks, we go from the 3rd and 6+ column for the play call. And 8, McMahon is going to target Emory Moorhead on this one. And for Chicago, 1 star on pass offense, and Ravens 2 stars on pass defense. That is a defensive win, and pass is incomplete. That makes it 3rd down and 14 for the Bears. All right, 3rd and 14, and Chicago going to play it safe. They're going to call a draw play to Peyton. Defense not expecting that. That's going to be an offensive win in the trench control role. And G8 is going to be a 5-yard gain, just missed popping that, a big play, which would have been devastating for Baltimore. But that's going to make it 4th down and 9 on the 23-yard line. This is going to be a 40-yard field goal attempt for the Bears, Kevin Butler. 0 to 49, and kick is up, and it is no good. Missed it wide right, so Baltimore's defense recovers after giving up some yardage early. And they're going to take over on their own 23-yard line, so Chicago comes up empty. Oops. And Baltimore gets their first chance. So again, they're going off the -6 row you see here on the drive chart. So they need 50 or more to have a successful drive. And that's going to be a problem for them in a few matchups in this all-time league, just because their offense, again, it was the team that won with defense, and their offense did just enough to put them on top in most games. So this is going to be a stop for the Bears. It's going to be 4 plays, 12 yards. And Baltimore is going to have to punt. All right, punting team is on, and 7 is going to be C and a B on punt and punt return, respectively. So 7C, that is a 36-yard punt, and 2B is no return. So 65-71, and that is down to the 29-yard line, and Chicago will take over there. And 3rd drive of the first quarter, 2 more to go. Chicago, Jim McMahon needs 36 or better to generate a drive, and Chicago is going to get stuffed as well. 4 plays, 12 yards for the Bears. So they're up to their own 41, and they're going to have to punt now. So as expected, and of the test games I played, 3 between these two teams were very much defensive battles. The other one was a fairly comfortable Chicago blowout. And it's starting off like the former early on here. All right, Chicago punting the ball is a B, and punt return for Baltimore is an A. So 6B on the punt, and that's going to be a 41-yarder, and 2A, that'll be a fair catch. So 41, and it's 82 down to the 18-yard line, and that's where Baltimore takes over for their 2nd drive of the game. Again, they need 51 or better. And Chicago's defense is playing them tough. 3 plays, 5 yards. They're going to have to punt again. And next drive coming up will be the end of the first quarter. All right, CC on punt and punt return. Roll of 8, that's going to be a 43-yarder, and a roll of 8 on the return is going to be a 6-yard return. So 37-yard net. 23, 30, 60. All right, Chicago, last drive of the first quarter. Still no score in this one. Jimmy Mack brings them up. He's looking for that 36 and 65. They're going to have a successful roll, or successful drive, I should say. And 7 from the 40-yard line is going to be 7 plays, 41 yards. So it's down to the 19, and down in distance there, 10s on the roll. It's going to be 3rd and 6. So Chicago again drove down the field and ran into trouble once they got close to the red zone. Baltimore will be expecting the pass here and play. They're going to run another draw to Peyton. Surprising play calling here. Playing very conservative is Mike Ditka. And trench control, that is going to be 2-star. Actually, 1 is the roll because you take 1 off. Baltimore not expecting the run. So 2 stars on the run column and 2 stars on run defense. We have a stalemate. And 2G, Peyton is going to get 3 yards and be stopped short. So 4th and 2 from the 16-yard line. This will be a 33-yard field goal. Butler 0 to 92 for those, so much greater chance of making this one. Kick is up and it's good. Possible penalty. Hold on. And we don't need the D20 on field goals for anything else, so we'll use that for the penalty, which there is none. And Chicago, as the first quarter comes to a close, the Bears lead the Ravens 3-0 and set to kick off to Baltimore. All right, 7 on the kickoff for Chicago, and Chicago again is a C. That's going to go down to the 5-yard line, and 8 on the return. Baltimore is a B. They actually have a good return game, both punt and kickoff. So 8B on the return. That's going to be a 20-yard return. So they're going to take over at their own 25. This has been, unfortunately, their best field position so far. And let's see if they can generate a drive here. Dilfer brings the squad up, and 39. They're going to be stopped again. 5 plays, 18 yards. So they get up to the 43-yard line, but they're going to be stopped and have to punt. So Chicago's defense not playing early in this one. They did get a first down that drive at least, though. This could be a possible penalty. So first of all, the punt is going to go... All right, 8C punt's going to go 43 yards, and 5C on the return is going to be a fair catch. Let's roll for the penalty before we do anything else, however. So Chicago would have it at their own 14 if there is no penalty. And 6, that is going to be an offensive penalty. And on special teams, kicking, that is going to be a false start. And Chicago is going to back them up and make them punt again, hoping to get better field position. So back to the 37 now. And that's a booming 50-yard punt, so that might not have turned out good. 4-yard return, so 46 net. So Chicago ends up 3 yards better as they take over for their first drive of the second quarter on their own 17, leading 3-0. Jimmy Mack brings the boys up, and Baltimore's defense Coming at them, that's going to be 6 plays, 19 yards, and a punt. So up to the 36. Punt team comes on for the Bears, and 7B and A on the punt return. So 7B on the punt, that is going to be 39 yards, and 5A on the return is going to be no return. So Baltimore takes over on their own 25-yard line. They've been stymied thus far. Let's see if they can get a successful drive. 96, well, that might not be what they want. 96 is going to be a potential interception. So 16 on the interception yardage will be 3 plays, 9 yards, and they'll have to kick if it is not picked off. So up to the 34. And the defensive rating on interception adjustments for the Bears is a whopping +6, and Baltimore is 1-13. Does not look good, and 20, it's not picked off. Unbelievable. The only number they could roll, and they dodge a big bullet there. As Daisy is shocked in the background, if you can hear her barking. So Baltimore, though, will have to punt from their own 34. And that's going to be 36 on the punt and no return. So Chicago takes over on their own 30, and we have 2 drives left in the first half. 3-0, a defensive slobber knocker here. As Jimmy Mack once again, and double zeros. Wow, stymied once again. A 6-play, 20-yard drive. So they get right up to midfield, but they're going to be stopped there and have to punt again. So kind of turning out exactly as one might expect and how several of their test games went. Punt on this for Chicago, again, B and an A. 2B is a 37-yard punt, and 8A on the return is going to be 15. So a net 22 yards on that, as Baltimore's going to take over on their own 28. Last drive of the first half. Let's see if Trent Dilfer can work some magic, because he has not done anything so far. 71, look at that. They finally get a successful drive that doesn't involve a potential turnover. 14 from in between the 21 to 35. That's a 5-play, 39-yard drive. And that is going to go down to the Chicago 33-yard line, and 9 on the defensive roll. It's going to be 2nd down and 5 for Baltimore from there. So Baltimore looking to get on the board before the first half comes to a close here. And actually, I screwed up on that. It's actually 2nd down and 8. All right, 2nd and 8 from the 33, Dilfer. Let's see what he has up his sleeve. They're going to stay conservative. A handoff to Jamal Lewis, and deuces on the trench control. That's going to be a stalemate. So we'll get the yardage result first of all, and then check the penalty since we rolled doubles on the D6s. So stalemate H, roll of 2 is going to be a 4-yard gain. Let's see if there is a penalty. And there is not. So that's going to make it 3rd down and 4 for Baltimore at the 29-yard line of Chicago. Time running down in the first half. Playbook is open here. And 20, they're going to go up top for this one. That's going to be a pass intended for Jermaine Lewis. So Jermaine Lewis, and trench control favors Baltimore. That's going to be 2 stars to 1 star, or to 2 stars to 1 star. So a offensive win in the trenches. And 6 on the offensive win. It is still incomplete. Dilfer just misses 4th down. And field goal unit comes on. This would be a 46-yard field goal. Baltimore has better long kicking game than Chicago, 0-82. The kick is up, and 83 clanks off the crossbar and comes back out onto the field. No good. So the first half comes to a close, and Chicago keeps the donut intact. It is 3-0, and let's go right to the second half. Baltimore will get the second half kickoff. See if these teams can generate some offense finally as they switch sides of the field. Here we go. All right, kickoff to Baltimore. And again, Baltimore is a B on kickoff returns. That's going to be a touchback, however. So they're going to take over playing modern rules on the 25-yard line. So a good drive to end the half. Just a field goal clanked off the goalpost that would have tied it. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going. They do, 78. So 0-6, and that is another successful drive. So from the 25, that's going to be 5 plays, 32 yards. Down to the 33-yard line, and 7 on the 2D6. It's going to be 1st and 10 there for Baltimore. That's Dilfer feeling himself now. 2 successful drives in a row after being stuffed most of the first half and only getting 1 first down until that drive before halftime. All right, possible penalty on this. This is going to be a run play to Lewis, Jamal. And deuce is going to be a stalemate. 3H is going to be a 5-yard gain. Let's see if there's a penalty here. And there is on the off. Oh, no, they were 1-8. So 5-yard gain. Positive yardage, 2nd and 5 for Baltimore. Dilfer brings them up. And I did not. Dilfer and Banks basically split starts that year, and Fuller had a few for in place of McMahon, who had injuries, of course, throughout his entire career, injury issues. I just went with both main quarterbacks. So anyway, Dilfer in, and 13 on 2nd down. That's going to be a pass to Shannon Sharp. That is going to be a complete trench control win, and Shannon Sharp is a K, and that's going to be a 14-yard gain, 1st down to the 30. So Baltimore has something cooking here to start the second half. Chicago's defense possibly getting tired. And 6, that's going to be a run play again to Lewis. And this time Chicago is ready for this. This is going to be a defensive trench control win. Chicago's run defense, again, they were not top of the league against the rush. It's going to be K. So 2K, and 2K, that's going to be 1 yard. So they were stout that time, 2nd down and 9 for Baltimore. 13 going back to Shannon Sharp, and this is going to be 2 stars on offense, 2 stars on defense. We have a stalemate, and that is going to be incomplete, 3rd down and 9. So once again, both defenses digging in when they have to, keeping the end zone protected. And 20 on 3rd and 6 plus. This is going to be intended for Jermaine Lewis. And wow, defensive win there on the trench control and roll of 8. So this is a potential sack. And if not a sack, it will be incomplete. So Dill for sack rating, or the Baltimore sack rating, is 1 to 11, and Chicago is going to add 4 to that, so 1 to 15. 2, it is a sack, and yardage lost, 5 yards. So that changes things considerably, makes it 4th and 14, back to the 34. This is going to be a 51-yard field goal attempt, 0 to 65, so they got a good shot still. Kick is up, and 95, it is missed again, almost blocked, but came up just short. So once again, Chicago comes up big and stymies Baltimore. They're going to take over at their own 34-yard line. And Jimmy Mack need to get the offense going. 19, and not going to happen on this drive, though. That's going to be yet another punt. 5 plays, 14 yards up to the 48, and punt time for Chicago. Their offense has fallen asleep in the last few drives. But again, kind of what you would expect from these two teams slugging it out. A B on the punt, 0B, is going to be a 42-yarder. And on the return, 4A is going to be a fair catch. So 42 yards. It's down to the 10-yard line where it rolls dead. And Baltimore back on the field. 2 successful drives in a row, resulting in missed field goals. Still need above 50. Not going to get it this time, as Chicago says enough of this. 3 plays, 0 yards, straight 3 and out, and they have to punt from their 10. All right, punt team on as this game is proceeding briskly. Possible penalty on this will resolve the punt, of course, first. So 6C, that's going to be a 41-yard punt, and 6C on the return is going to be a 2-yard return. 39-yard net. Let's see if there is a penalty. 18, and there is a defensive penalty. This could change things. And 4. That's going to be offsides, and that is not going to result in much. They're just going to take the punt. Actually, no, they're going to re-kick. 4th down and 5 from the 15-yard line. We'll see if they can get a better result on the punt. 5C, that's a 42-yarder, and 8C on the return. So they actually come up a little less, 36-yard net. But at least that puts Chicago back into their own territory. So Jimmy Mack, 2 more drives left in the 3rd quarter, and Chicago is going to get stuffed again. 5 plays, 12 yards, down to the 39. This would be a field goal that Kevin Butler can't make. And 4th down situation is the 4th and 10. So they're going to punt from there. Going to go the coffin corner option, which means they will go off of the E punt. Try and pin them deep. 5E on the punt, and that is going to be 37 yards. So that does indeed comes down at the 2-yard line, and 4 on the return. 4A, and they're going to let it die there. So Baltimore pinned deep in their own territory. Last drive of the 3rd quarter, 3-0. These teams duking it out in a bloody trench battle. Baltimore, though, has had more scoring opportunities. 2 missed field goals to Chicago's 1 made field goal. And this is not going to be good for Baltimore. 93 is going to be another possible interception. They dodged a big-time bullet last time So interception yards, 4 plays, 16 yards, and they would have to punt. So they're going to be stopped at the 18, or that's where the ball will be picked. I can't imagine they're going to dodge that bullet again. Let's see. 4, absolutely not. Chicago picks it off, so the offense can't score. Defense is going to try and do it. And the interception return. 9, and that's going to be a big play. Chicago's big play on interceptions is A. And again, we don't have the big play chart up, but they're going to score no matter what they roll. 8, that would have been a automatic touchdown. Chicago pick 6 as the third quarter comes to an end to extend their lead 10-0, and the ball hawking secondary of Chicago, 91 on the extra point, is up and good. And Chicago ends the third quarter with a 10, whoops, wrong place. 10-0 lead. Baltimore set to get the opening kickoff, or the kickoff to start the fourth quarter. And they need to make something happen. 10-0, 85 Bears over the 2,000 Ravens. Here we go. On the kickoff, that's going to be C, and again, kickoff return is a B. So 8C on the kickoff is down to the 5-yard line, and 1. Just missed a big play there on the kickoff return. And instead, that's only going to be a 12-yard return. Wow. So at the 17, and Baltimore facing stiff odds here with their -6 on the drive roll. It's going to cause problems for them throughout this all-time greats league, of course. 43, and they get stuffed again. 3 plays, 5 yards. Up to the 22-yard line, and punt time for Baltimore. We've called the punters' names a lot in this one, and that's not totally unexpected. That's a 33-yard punt, and on the return, no return. So Baltimore, or Chicago, sorry, is going to have good field position on their own 45. And they're not going to have a successful drive again, and it is -3 plays, -1d6. So Chicago goes nowhere, and they're going to have to punt from their own 41. Baltimore needs to make something happen this drive, or they're not going to have a shot to win this game. 0 on the punt. And punting B for the Bears. That's going to be a 42-yard punt. And 8A on the return. Going to be 15 yards. So a net there of 27 yards. All right, 27 plus 41 is 68. That puts the ball at the 32-yard line. All right, Dilfer back on the field. He had a couple of drives to end the first half and start the second half, but last 2, not so much. And 49, just short. They're going to be stuffed again. 3 plays, 6 yards. And they're going to need their defense to do something. Time to punt. We could still have a close late situation which would bring up an onside kick, so we're going to kick it away here. Definitely could have gone for it though. All right, 7C on the punt. That is a 36-yard punt, and 8C on the return. 6. So 32 net. 70, and down to the 30-yard line for Chicago. Bears looking to try and run this clock out. And 48, that is going to be a successful drive for Jimmy Mack and co. Finally, it's going to be from the 30-yard line, roll of 10 on the D20. It'll be 5 plays, 36 yards. So down to the 34-yard line. Down and distance situation, 5 makes it 3rd and 6. So Chicago not really in field goal range, 3rd and 6. Let's see what Jimmy Mack has. Baltimore playing the pass. And this is going to be a pass, and it will be intended for Dennis McKinnon. And 3-4 on the trench control roll. That is going to be 1 star against 2 stars. A win for Baltimore. And 0-3 is their completion rate. It's a 4. It's incomplete. 4th down and 6 for Chicago. From the 34-yard line, this would be a 51-yard kick, which Butler can't make. Chicago is going to go for it here. All right. And 19, this is going to be a pass intended for Reitman. And again, -1 to the defensive roll. 2 stars, 2 stars, stalemate. Stalemate, though, is still going to be complete as Bears have 0-4 for that. Roll to 3. And Reitman is an F. And that is going to be a good gain, most likely. 3F, that will indeed, that's a 21-yard strike on 4th and 6 down to the 13-yard line, and Chicago looking to put the dagger in this one. 1st down and 10. Let's see if they rely on Peyton here. 1st and 10, that is going to be actually a give up the middle to Matt Suhey. And this is going to be a stalemate. Suhey rating of I, and 6I, that will be a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8 for Chicago from the 11-yard line. Jimmy Mack is going to air this one out. It's going to be intended again for Reitman. He came up clutch on that 4th down. Let's see if he can do it again. However, this time, 1 star on the pass offense roll, and 1 star and 2 stars. It's going to be a defensive win. 8, and Baltimore is going to have a potential sack. If it's not a sack, it is going to be incomplete. So Jimmy Mack, 1-11 is the Bears' base rating. Ravens, believe it or not, -1, so 10 or less, 16, and McMahon able to avoid the pressure and live to play another down. It is 3rd down and 8, however, from the 11-yard line. See if Chicago plays this conservatively. They do not, and McMahon, he likes Reitman. He's going back to him once again on 3rd and 6 plus. And for the rolls, 1 star versus 1 star, stalemate, 8, and that is going to be incomplete. So Baltimore holds up again, and this will be a, from the 11-yard line, 28-yard field goal. I'm sorry, we're not in the 11, we're at the 16. So 33-yard field goal, Kevin Butler. Pretty good, 0-92, it's up and it is good. And Chicago extends that lead to what should now be insurmountable, to 13-0. And this is what's going to need to happen. This is the last drive of the game. If Baltimore gets a touchdown drive, however, because it's close late, meaning it is within 8 points on the last drive, they can try an onside kick, and then they will get a predetermined number of plays to try and win the game. But first, they have to overcome that vaunted Bears defense, which has a pick 6, the only touchdown in this game coming from the Bears defense. So on the kickoff for Chicago, 5C, that is going to go down to the goal line, and 4B on the return, 27. All right, Baltimore, last chance. They need to make a miracle happen here. And they have had 2 decent drives that resulted in missed field goals, and those are huge now because a touchdown on this drive otherwise could tie the game. But first, they have to have another successful drive, and they need 50 or more on the D10. 14, no, it is over. And because the game is basically out of reach, not close at 13-0, that will end it. So 5 plays, 12 yards, and there we'll consider it out on downs. And that's your ball game, folks. So this is how many of their games have been during testing. I think, like I said, 3 defensive ones, 2-1 to Chicago, and then Chicago had a blowout win. So Chicago's got now 4 out of 5 against the Ravens. But again, 4 of those have been very tightly contested defensive battles. This one the same, 13-0. The scoring, first quarter field goal by Kevin Butler. Fourth quarter field goal by Kevin Butler sandwiched around an 18-yard pick 6 in the third quarter. So that's it. And again, Glory Days Pro Football PDF out now, printed set to come in a week or so. Available sidelinestrategy.com. Hope you enjoyed this game, a battle of 2 of the defensive titans. Have a good weekend, and until next time, Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Take care.